no worry.
Yeah, they have they have a lot of sources inside the FBI and the CIA, and if the government comes out with their official line, they just write it up like little stenographers.
Right.
They're stenographers. They're not journalists. They're not reporters. You're supposed to fact check them too. Somebody in the CIA says something, you still got to say, hey, is it right or is it wrong?
One of the best examples of that is the Twitter files. You see no coverage of this on CNN, no coverage of this astounding collusion between intelligence agencies and a social media network to suppress accurate information that would harm the political party that's in power, which is fucking wild. It's wild that the news isn't covering this because, like, arguably that's as big a scandal as Watergate. It's as big a scandal as any other times in the past where we've found that there's been some really shady shit going on that would change the way people would see a narrative.
It's Watergate on steroids. It's Watergate by a factor of 10, but that's not the part that I wanted to highlight here. Hold on one second. Let's just let this play out.
Remember when you had Mark Zuckerberg on?
Yes.
And Zuckerberg was like,
yes.
Like,
how many times did we play that clip on this channel?
Yeah, the FBI reached out to us and they said, you know, hey, there's going to be a disinformation dump from Russia coming. And so we were ready when the Hunter Biden thing dropped.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, this is a perfect example of they were just wrong. They said, oh, this isn't Hunter Biden's laptop. You know, it's no big deal. This is just Russian disinformation.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it was his laptop. And so, and Mark Zuckerberg was almost doing a victory lap by saying, hey, I only suppressed it in the algorithm as opposed to banning it. He was like, oh, I didn't ban it. So therefore I'm, you know, good on me.
They were wrong. They got it wrong. Ugh, do I look pale and tired and ugly? They didn't get it wrong. They lied. When the intelligence came down and sat with Zuckerberg and they said, we get word, some Russian disinformation. They didn't get it wrong. They lied to Zuckerberg. And whether or not Zuckerberg read through the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, they all lied. When the 50 plus former and current intelligence officers or whatever they, you know, intelligence agents of disinformation signed that letter where they said, this has the hallmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign. They all knew the Hunter Biden laptop was authentic, genuine, and true. They all knew. So it's not just a question of them getting it wrong. They knew it was authentic. They knew it would sway an election. They interfered with social media, big tech, MSM, and they all went, you know, I forget the guy's name now, the kind of looks like Eminem. They're not the government stenographers. I've said this before. The media went from being the government watchdog to the government lapdog. And nobody will do anything. Well, we will rage against the dying of the light, and we will scream it loud and proud here. They lied. They then went, got big tech to do their bidding for them, got, you know, the New York Times to do their bidding for them. I was listening to Joe Rogan, I think it was with Crystal Ball and Sauger, you know, talking about how the New York Times got the Russiagate thing wrong. They've always been doing it. They've always been doing it, but the gatekeeping has been so much easier before the advent of the internet and the democratization of information. There's a reason why Dictator Trudeau wants to control the internet, and he's well on his way to doing it right now. Bill C-11 is passed through the Senate with some modifications. Bill C-11 is the, no, not the online. Yeah, the Online Streaming Act. They lied. Zuckerberg censored the truth. Whether or not he knew he was censoring the truth or thought he was being a good, you know, a good boy for the government, Twitter did it. Facebook did it. They interfered with an election while accusing others of interfering in elections. And they succeeded. And now the world, I don't want to get hyperbolic like Tim Pool and we're on the brink of a world war and yada, yada. It looks like we might be on the brink of a world war. I think cooler heads will prevail, but my goodness, I don't know why I read the media, but I still do. And, you know, count the doomsday clock is at 11:30, the closest it's ever been to doomsday. Excuse me. Let's get some standard disclaimers out of the way before sponsors, and then the Barnes is coming in the house. Good day, Viva. Not streaming on local. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Damn it. I forgot to try to set it up on locals. Okay, I'll have to do it next time. I'm sorry, guys. Because the problem is we're simultaneously streaming on Rumble, where we are currently live and alive. But people in France don't get Rumble live. And so when we go to Rumble exclusively, the people in France get shafted, and then I have to download, which I do every day after, the entire stream on vivabarneslaw.locals.com so they can watch it, because France has decided to screw over their citizens in the name of censorship. Passion Moyer, thank you very much. Which brings me to the disclaimer. Rumble rants, super chats, those things right there. If you want to support the channel, feel free to give a tip, and I may or may not be able to read the comments out loud, but I'll do my best to bring it up. YouTube takes 30% of super chats. If you don't like that, we are simultaneously streaming on Rumble. The link to the Rumble channel is in the pinned comment there. Rumble has the equivalent called Rumble Rants. They take 20%. So better to support a platform that supports free speech, and better for the creator. Now, no medical advice, no legal advice, no election fortification advice, although we will talk about that stuff. But nothing here is legal advice or medical advice. If you need medical advice, consult a doctor that you can trust that's not going to screw you and sweep you under the rug. If you need legal advice, consult a lawyer, and make sure you're engaged in a lawyer's relationship. Prayers for Turkey. 6,500 buildings, 10 stories or taller, have collapsed. Outrageous. All right. And let me see here. Why did France ban Rumble? France banned Rumble, Midlander, from if I think I understand it, I think I do. Because they wanted Rumble to deplatform ban RT. And Chris Pavlovsky and Rumble said, Zut alors, c'est de la merde, putain. And they said, no, we're not banning RT. And then from what I understand, France said, okay, well, we're gonna ban Rumble in France. And so unless you have a VPN, you can't access France you can't access Rumble in France anymore. Outrageous. France doesn't have free speech. I don't know where it does have free speech. And my goodness, I have been listening to some interviews and podcasts that'll just blow your mind and make you understand and truly understand the expression, hard times create hard men create soft times create soft men create hard times. And like many of us believe, we are in the era of soft men creating very, very hard times. Now, before we get started, you may have noticed it says this video contains a paid sponsor, which it does. And why does it do that? Because we've got two sponsors for tonight's videos. Birch Gold is number one. We watch the world. We watch the world burn, and really all we want to do is live our lives and live them freely. And we want to, keep the money that we have without having it stolen by Verizon. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Verizon, not yet done with Verizon. The Biden administration's New Year's goals of tax and spend and turn a blind eye to inflation, is it at odds with your goals of securing your savings? When you've finally had enough of the games government is playing with your savings in retirement, diversify into gold, people. I make jokes, but gold is the gold standard. Gold is good if you can afford it. If you can, certainly would have lost less money and made some, actually, as opposed to crypto, but whatever. I am tired of my money being impacted by stupid decisions by leaders in Washington and Canada, for that matter. For over 5,000 years, gold has withstood inflation, geopolitical turmoil, and stock market crashes. And here's the great news. You can still get in. You can always get in with gold. In fact, you can own gold and silver in tax-sheltered retirement account. I haven't figured out how that works yet, but you can actually roll over your 401k into like precious metals. Birch Gold makes it easy to convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Here's what you need to do. Go to birchgold.com/Viva to claim your free info kit on gold. With 20 years experience converting IRAs and 401ks into precious metals, Birch Gold can help you. It's a crazy thing. Like, I remember how much gold was back in the day when I first started collecting coins, and could never actually afford gold coins. Birchgold.com / or promo code Viva, and you'll get a kit and it'll show you all what to do. Now, speaking of gold, people, something that has been described as being worth its weight in gold. It's all doom and gloom, but at the very least, like Donald Trump said, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And one of the worst things that can happen actually is power outages. During the hurricane, Ian and the other one there, I went and got a gas-powered generator. That wasn't diesel. It was the gas that we put in our car. And then I started reading articles after my parents started sending it to me. They're saying like, Viva, David, those gas-powered generators, more people get killed by the generators than they do by the hurricane. I don't think that's true, but that's what my parents said. But national security experts are warning our aging power grid is more vulnerable than ever. You saw what happened. People shooting up power grids, yada, yada. You go out of power, you lose power. I just got an email from somebody. That's going to be a problem. A blackout lasting not days, but weeks or months. Your life would be frozen in time right at the moment the power fails. Lights over the country would go out, throwing people into total darkness. That's why having your own portable solar power panel is more important than ever. It's like, especially in Florida, it's a necessity. I did actually return my gas-powered one because I didn't want to get killed, and it was still in the box wrapped up. So with Patriot Power Sidekick from 4 Patriots, you get a solar generator that doesn't install into your house. Quick, easy, portable, on the go or inside. It's small, about the size of a lunchbox, but it's powerful enough for your phones, medical devices, and even mini fridge. It comes with a free solar panel and free shipping, and a practically unheard of 365-day satisfaction guarantee. And not only that, but you get 10% off your first purchase by typing in promo code VIVA at checkout. 4patriots.com, promo code VIVA, 10% off your first purchase of the Patriot Power Sidekick or anything else in the store. Things that are good to have regardless of what goes down. And if you're into camping, it's good stuff. The image on Rumble has frozen. All the links to the 2 sponsors are in the pinned comment. No, they're in the description, but hold on. Why? Why has it frozen on Rumble? Okay, before Robert gets here, Rob, a $2 Rumble rant, says, please start locals chat. Oh, sorry, I thought someone said we had started a locals chat. I'm going to go start locals chat, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. Live chat will run concurrently with the stream. I'm just going to go like this. Live chat here. Booyah, chat away. What was that thing? The RBG chat, that politically correct AI chat. Okay, let me just see if I did it. Live chat is on, everybody. Here is the link to the live chat. And now that we've gotten everything taken care of, booyah. I want to read. Okay, hold on a second. There was a $20 Rumble rant. The super chats. Oh, there's a bunch of chats here. Hold on a second. Rumble isn't working. Is it still not working? Let me go there and see. Why would cooler heads prevail? China knows it's pretty much now or never. So did Russia. Even globalists know it's now or never. It will only get worse. I'm not your buddy guy. I will choose to be optimistic right now. Or I think realistic. I don't think it's being optimistic. I think I don't know. I don't know how escalation of the conflict plays out. I'll be in Las Vegas for Nick's thing since I'll be there. Where do I get tickets for yours? We had to reschedule our meet and greet to March 12th. That news was posted in vivabarneslaw.locals.com. So it's March 12th. So it will not be the same weekend as Ricada. Now let me go to Rumble just to see what's going on here. Refresh. Don't be a problem. Certainly does seem to be a problem. Not refresh if Rumble freezes people. Well, let me refresh. Okay, I'm seeing my ugly punum there. Okay, we're good. We're live. Barnes is not here yet, so I'm going to talk about one story which, oh gosh, the world in which we live, people, mind blowing. Let me just pull it up because I had it on the backdrop here before we get into this. Okay, so here's what happens. You all heard about that story, a disgusting video of a bunch of school kids beating on a 9-year-old girl on a bus. Here's I want to show you how not racist I am. The racial component of that video never crossed my mind. Why? Because all children behave badly at times. All children behave terribly. Now, let me rephrase that. Some children behave terribly. Children and young males, particularly, they're idiots. And I say this with what's the word I'm looking for? A blanket statement. Kids are idiots. Young boys are especially idiots. And We all seen that video. There's two kids, 12 and 10, I don't know, 12 and whatever, wailing on a 9-year-old girl in a bus. The racial component never crossed my mind, period. I then saw one person on Twitter at one point claiming that Matt Walsh, was engaging in racist rhetoric by using certain rhetoric to describe the incident, like by saying the kids were, behaving like animals, and someone says, well, that clearly has to be racially motivated. Didn't even cross my mind, because kids are kids, and bad kids of any race, religion, or creed do bad things. That's just the way things work. Okay, fine. If you haven't seen the video, go look it up. It's terrible. Don't look it up. It's terrible. Why would you do that? You're just going to punish yourself for no good reason. All right. So then I see a headline on the interwebs that shows this. I want to make sure we're seeing the same thing here. We are. A headline in the interwebs. iHeart, and I only know iHeart. I thought it was a Montreal thing. iHeart Radio is local radio in Montreal. Florida student arrested after video shows him beating up 9-year-old girl. Now, I knew the video. I saw someone post this on Twitter saying, hey, interesting choice in image, given the story. And then I go to look it up. And when I go to look it up, when I get to the story, I'll show you the picture that's there. This picture. They went from one stock photo to another stock photo of a school bus with a stop sign. And so when I see the article, I'm like, oh, I don't see that picture. And I think I'm going to get duped again. Once bitten, twice shy, third time traumatized. I haven't gotten to traumatized yet, because I get traumatized off the second try. I made a mistake once. It's not soon going to happen again. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm looking around to see if this is true. Did they use a stock photo of, not that it made any difference until someone made it. Did they use a stock photo of a white kid wailing on a white kid on a bus for this story, which would be very peculiar? And then did they change it after they got called out on it? And so I went and I employed the tactics of the interwebs, and look what I did. This is in the cache of the interwebs. The original photo is still there. So you see the photo when you go look it up, and lo and behold, they changed the photo. They changed the photo to that in the story. And then that's the whole story. And I found that shocking and outrageous. So someone decided to, that's misinformation. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. That's misinformation or disinformation or malicious propagandizing or deflection. And to do that is itself, I would dare say that that's some form of racism. It's as if to say, there's something here that needs to be hidden, and therefore I'm going to deliberately try to mislead people as to the essence and nature of the story. It also just so happens that the journalist who wrote that article happens to be black, and then that's going to add a next level to this. Because when I first saw it, the last name of the journalist was Anderson. Didn't exactly look like, didn't raise any flags as to, was someone doing this on purpose? To deliberately attempt to conceal the truth of that story is itself racism, and it is itself a form of bigotry of low expectations. We can't even be honest. We have to now try to falsify the narrative of that story to anybody who won't know. What was Coulter's law? What is Coulter's law? Okay, anyone in the chat, if you know what Coulter's law is, let me know. Now, I see Barnes in the backdrop, so I'm not going to get into the second story, which I'm going to save for tomorrow. And maybe I'll have an interesting guest for tomorrow as well. We'll see. What is Coulter's law? And it doesn't matter. It's kind of fraudulent. And then the guilt that the picture was changed, and so that anybody sharing the original picture might actually then look like a liar. Well, someone will look at them and say, why are you spreading disinformation? They didn't use that picture. It was a school bus. And yeah, I did my sleuthing. I'm not going to get bitten again. All right. Booyakasha. Outrageous, not shocking. Robert, get ready. Robert doesn't look like he's home. Hold on one second. Oh, hey, we got the mayor here. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Robert, sir. Are you in a bunker planning for the worst?
No, in the home in the office, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Beautiful. All right. Let's see. Let me see if everyone says the audio is good. Audio, let us know, people. Robert,
I think we may have double opened up live chats on locals.
Shitballs.
I didn't
Okay.
realize you'd opened one, so I opened one too.
Whose do we close? Everyone in my chat. I'm gonna end it and go to the other one. But Mighty Piss sent a $1 tip. It says, Robert, please teach Viva how to save chat so it can be later accessed. It's helpful to go back for links.
Yeah, what is at the there's a you can enable live chat to be read afterwards. Yeah, it's a little button at the top.
Okay, so I'm gonna end I see people going down. Everyone leave the chat that I created and go to the one that Barnes did. Mighty Piss, thank you very much. Yes, stop. Robert, what do we start? I mean, we got a lot on the menu tonight, but
yeah, we can go through first the topics list. I mean, we got the usual typical 21 potential topics. Musk wins big in another. Again, he's like the Teflon Don of Twitter in his ability to win big cases that he's not supposed to win. Second big win in 4 months in court. A federal sentencing case. I'll describe that up here that I just went through here in Scranton, give people some background on how that process works through lived legal experience. And I'll try to do it without cussing out federal judges in general. We got the China balloon, what some of the legal ramifications of that may be. We got the Murdaugh trial and some wild 404B evidence that's coming in. That's a very popular issue, probably the most popular issue in the law and trial for the ordinary person in trials is 404B evidence. Jurors love to hear it, and it's the exact evidence they shouldn't hear. We'll talk about that. We have medical spying on insurance denial with secret databases of insurance companies defaming and libeling people and denying them insurance coverage. We got the Ninth Circuit apparently opening the door for a federal property tax, Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax. We have suing governments over hiding vaccine injury databases, including the Children's Health Defense lawsuit and a Japanese lawsuit against the Japanese government on the same grounds. We have DOJ going after Google and antitrust. We have the Seattle schools bringing a very interesting lawsuit against big tech. That's likely the beginning of a lot more to come about how big tech is causing a mental health crisis among school children in America. We have rent control and whether it's unconstitutional going back up to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals may make its way back up to the Supreme Court. We have Eliza Blue. Can she sue someone for libel? Can somebody sue her or her associates for libel or maybe even tortious interference with coffeebrand.coffee.com of the quartering? You too can still get your Valentine's package for the quartering if you want from his coffeebrand.coffee.com. We have homeless sex offenders. What happens? How do they register their address if they're homeless? We've got pot users. Probably didn't know there's a federal law that prohibits them from even having a gun. Well, a federal court might have just said that's a violation of their Second Amendment rights.
That's one of those decisions where I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, everything in the intro makes me very uncomfortable, and then by the end of it, I'm like, yep, I totally agree with the judge. We'll get to that.
And then in a new episode, or what's going to be part of all of our future Law for the People, usually on Sunday, today on Monday shows, we're going to try to incorporate a famous case, a big case. Maybe it's a historical case, maybe it's a current case, but this one, because there's a recently really good documentary on it, is a case I followed because of its broad contours and context, which is the case of Kim.com. Then we've got when can vaccine injured sue, based on part of the issues raised yesterday in your interview of what happened in that case. But there's a lot of other people that fall in that situation. Can they sue? What's the impact of the PrEP Act? Might there be ways to challenge it? Logan Paul, getting caught up in the crypto mess, has now been sued for class action fraud in Texas. We got a big Bitcoin case in London. We got bartenders being charged for their customers getting drunk and driving drunk. We got the Backstreet Boys' Nick Carter fighting back against what he calls false Me Too allegations, and one or two other fun cases. So that's the list. We'll get to what we can.
All right, and I'm just gonna end it now on YouTube. Everybody, let's go over to Rumble. Pour la France, je m'excuse. Demain matin, le vidéo dans son entier sera sur vivabarneslaw.local.com. Okay, we're ending on YouTube. Link is in there. head over because we're going to start with the Chinese balloon. You can now refer to things by their country of origin when it's Joe Biden. Okay, ending on YouTube, going over to Rumble, people. See you all there, 2,334 people.